Hello to everybody of the internet, my name's SkipVenture, and I'm getting really upset over a really stupid game, and in today's video, again, skirmish, competitive multiplayer, you guys get to sit with me and wait and watch me slowly go insane while we create a match. I've been having a bad time in the Crucible. It's not a good, it's a bad, because I can't do anything. And, get shit like this. But at least my ship is beautiful. So I'm going to be using a blue scout rifle, a blue fusion rifle, and a blue rocket launcher. Now let's just note something about this fusion rifle. Note the very low charge rate, and the very high impact. Yeah, theoretically, this thing should shred with 5 bolts. If I hit 6 or 7, that should be good. And yeah, we've got the mountain of pure hell here. I'm just joking, this is a pretty average scout rifle. Woo, a match. First Crucible match, and there's a little pixels there. Oh, over here there's, you probably can't see it, but there's like a small line. Looks like a sprinkle. What if my television is broken? That would suck. Vertigo, always fun.
Together, and you might survive.
All right, come on. Do 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 do. Let's just go here. Follow this little blip on my radar. Oh, that's a skip grenade. That's a person. Yeah, that's totally what I plan to do. Let's hope this cup the balls 2x can cup my balls and revive me, if that makes sense. Not really sure why somebody would name themselves that, because that's what people will call you. Like, imagine going onto an LFG and somebody's like, yo, what's your tag? What do I call you? And you're like, cup the balls 2x. That's not a good name. Hey, my fusion rifle actually worked. My previous game, I wasn't getting any kills with it. It sucked. Oh, I just realized that Cup can hear me. I am so sorry, Cup, but I'm trying to make commentary for a stream that only has like 0 people in it. So, yeah. Didn't mean to give you my life story. But if I can play the game moderately well, then, oh shit, I take that back. That's never going to happen. But hey, I mean, oh shoot, I am sorry, Cup. Again. I guess they just call you Cup, but still, like, knowing that the long version of it, your actual name is still Cup the Balls, which is an awkward name. Yeah. Ah. Okay, yeah, now this fusion rifle is actually pretty good. It's got a pretty high charge time, though. One thing I'm not really going to be able to get over. Can't make that jump. The shutdown is real. Okay. That is fair. I will give him that. That probably looked pretty sick from his perspective. Let's see if I can line this up. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. Oh, Cup was there. Oh no, Nailbait killed him. Okay. Switching over to Scout Rifle. Diversify the playing. Oh, this is not a good place to be.
You're falling behind.
What? Why didn't I lunge? Come on, game. Alright, I meant to lunge in for the melee when I weakened him for a faster kill, but that wasn't going to happen. Back to Fusion Rifle,
Gains the lead.
where I have a higher chance of bringing someone down to low health. Not necessarily a kill, because we know how I get with that. Ah! Oh. How did I win that? Or just do that? Okay. Wiley won't be able to get me, or anybody, cause power just killed him. Maybe I should do this. Oh no, that was a bad idea. Oh, thank God. Yes!
You're in the lead.
With the gun, my first medal for that. Oh, that made me feel so good. Put me on True Vanguard. Not really, that'd be a terrible idea. I suck at this game. Major, let me just...
Heavy
Boop.
ammo on the way.
Aw.
Lost the lead.
Alright, I am anticipating a Guardian to run through... Yeah.
Heavy ammo.
Or just... That was a terrible idea. Note to self, don't run headfirst into a blade dancer. Mid the dance of arc. I don't know what the thing's called. So, yeah. Not doing that again. I don't have any fuse rifle ammo. Just enough to attract the babes. Ah, my throwing knife went through. What if I hit the rocket with my throwing knife? That would be art. I'd pay to see that. Oh. Oh, nicely done. Oh. Oh, okay, I thought somebody was there. Alright, I need special ammo, and I'd imagine that right about now, special ammo is a thing that exists. Ooh, wow, luck in the chamber. Procs pretty often. That's a joke. Alright, we've got 40 seconds on it.
You're falling behind.
Ah! See, I got that kill. It was just lag. I feel good now. I may actually have a hope of playing well in this game. Yeah, Cup, they're running away from my ghost. I say you because you're a good revive dude for a warlock. Cause you're selfish? That was a joke. Congratulations on the level up, by the way.
In the lead.
You think you can hide from me by crouching? You would be wrong. Oh, that's skip, that's skip, that's me. My legacy. All in one tracking device. Oh, I got you. I know you're there. Alright, let me just never look back that way again. Jeez, this luck proc is crazy. Oh, that makes me salty. Oh, really? You want to play that game? Ha! It was worth it. Oh man, that's the way I play Crucible. I mean, at least I killed the arc blade and they didn't get a ton of points. Aw, I was hoping my grenade ticked him. Oh, really? You're gonna pull out your shotgun whenever Tilda needs a turn. Whatever. Mr. Titan. Oof. Nicely done, guys. Whoa, did I really top the board? That's cool. Never had that happen. Excuse me. Oh, that was bad. Have that happen before. Ooh, I'll take a legendary chest engram for when I hit like 280 light. Or more like 250, because then they'll actually start improving my light. But below that, it's trash. Cup the balls. You just gotta cup the balls. You gotta deliver the proper amount of suck, as I heard from one great man. Yep, my chest engram. Never going to live you down. Got keyhole and then Way the Fearless. Guess I can go armor, but I don't want that. I want recovery. Which is part of why I have Chain of Woe on, but I don't have anything else, as you can see, so nothing gained in lying to you. Who do I trust? Boop. Fuck helium filament detectors. Ooh, we've got more, shoot, what's the ship called? More waning starships. They're pretty cool, actually. I never got one on my original account. Back to creating valuable commentary. I need to start recording for one-ups. That's what I should do. I should plan that for August and just write a script and just record. That'll be a good thing. Alright, teammates, for those of you curious about why I'm talking to myself, I'm currently streaming, so... Oh, you did not just... Oh, well, that's my death. Cup of the balls. He's a pretty funny warlock, dude. Yeah, anyway, blah blah. I wonder if there are recording studios in Texas. I'm gonna check that if I ever want to do this. Oh, that was a teammate. Fuck me. Yeah. Because if so, then I'll have a much better microphone than my Geotech. I mean, it's a good microphone, but there's definitely better, and you can notice the quality difference between studio mics and not studio mics. Ah! Fresh bag. Sure. You can just counter my fusion rifle with the shotgun. I mean, he was at point blank range. I'm not mad, but I had the charge ready, and I was pointed at him. Ha! I just wanted you to see in the kill feed that you got killed by a fusion rifle. Just so that you know that your god tier is not, or that your handling is not god tier. Not close enough? Ah! My fusion rifle! How could you fail like that? Whatever. Lick the blood of the wound. It's actually a pretty gross way to think about it. Those are skip grenades? Okay, we're good. Hey, yeah. No! At least you used the last word correctly in close quarters. Yeah. You go kill yourself, Power Vector. Oh, that was a bad idea. Didn't take any of them. Woohoo! Way to go, Elotro. Ah, why? I wanted to kill him. I had that precision throwing knife. Don't know why you couldn't give that to me, game. Alright. Back onto the commentary role. I have been lacking the ability to fulfill. It's not much to be said. Papa. Okay, yeah, just totally put a void bullet through my head. Not even bullet, it bolts. It's a bolt. You've seen the size and shapes of these bullets and thought about it logistically, you'd be in agreement. You'd be saying, totally, those really are fucking bolts. They're firing out of sniper rifles. Oh, that was bad. Let me knife you! You see how low he was? He was within melee health. Why couldn't I get that? How did I go from best to worst? Ha! I'll take that. In typical hindsight, I don't know if that... Oh, it's a... I think I... Is that the ammo still a thing? Fuck if I know. Fuck if I care. I had my fusion rifle revved up and ready to go. What was that, game? You should really just play better, Skip. You should really just go jump off a cliff, me. Doing. There we go, got the moat. Nope. Duh! Yes, way to kill the Sunbreaker.
Gains the lead.
Watch out. Can some... Fuck it. Whatever. Ha! Oh, already fuse nades me. My fuse Rife game was okay. I'm better with the Susanu on my Warlock.
Finish them.
Finish them. Well, there goes a possible kill.
5 minutes remaining.
Good team shot, Mr. Warlock. Dun 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 dun, chicka dun 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 dun, dun 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 chicka dun, dun dun chicka dun, dun dun chicka dun, dun.
Fight's over.
Well, that was a fun game. So, for anybody listening, I have a fun story to tell, because I have the feeling that matchmaking is going to be a bitch to wait for. So, let story time with Skippy commence. So, imagine what it was like a few days ago, if you're watching this live, and I know nobody is because I saw the view count, and it's pretty pathetic, but imagine a few days ago if you're watching this whenever this goes up. Okay? Imagine you're going and getting your, oh, I've got a person with comments. That's awesome. Never mind. Somebody's here. I need to learn my manners. Well, imagine someone, how do I check comments? This is going to be weird. Boo, lonely. Yeah, I know, I'm lonely. Well, anyway, just imagine you are having a day, right?
It's
you go out.
emoji face with tears of joy.
Thanks, man. MLG tears. That's MLG phase. Tears of joy. I have the voice on, don't I? Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, it's a day. You're getting your haircut. It looks pretty good. But you're nervous as hell, because you're like me. You're a slob, and your hair is always looking terrible. Like, absolute 0% attractive. If any of you who know me in real life are watching this, you know what I mean. You know, I got a new haircut, and I'm not broadcasting it, except for, right. Fuck, I just beat myself in my own sentence. But I got my haircut, and I was freaking out, so I got really nervous, so they gave me one of the most sociable barbers there, right? You know, a fairly attractive 20-something who can give a mean haircut, right? So, before I had to get my haircut, I had to rehearse to myself what I wanted to get. I was like, okay, fade, inch off the top, beware the scar on the back of my head, because when I was 4, I fell off a pool and I hurt my head pretty badly, and there's a scar there where hair doesn't grow. So, you know, I have to have people look out for that if they ever want to change my head. So I was rehearsing that because I thought that was embarrassing, but really, if anything, it makes me even more attractive because of my battle scars. But I'm just rehearsing this to myself because I don't want to feel weird in front of the 20-something barber, because it's a 20-something barber. He or she, it's a cool person that I don't want to pass up on. And so, the story that I'm about to tell you is about this person. This person who cut my hair. Totally made my day. Because that was a really weird struggle, because they are the coolest person I have ever met. And I say they not because they have multiple genders or identify as something else, but really it's just because, no reason, actually. Story continues. So she's cutting my hair, and she's like, so, what do you do as a hobby? And I'm like, oh, I just play video games and sometimes make YouTube videos. And she's like, oh, that's neat. What kind of games do you play? I'm like, oh, I play a lot of shooters. You get the res. I play a lot of shooters, and she's like, oh, do you play Destiny? And I'm like, yeah, I play a lot of Destiny. And she's like, I do too! Now, just listen to me. You know, a virgin 14-year-old who hears his 20-something barber plays a game that he has devoted his recent teen years to. You know, the gun that I shoot with, that's from Destiny. She's fired this gun. And other things like that. And so we just start talking as she's cutting my hair about Destiny. And she and I talked about the Shade Step and the Garrison nerf extensively. It was crazy. And it really caught me off guard that she played Destiny. But, I mean, you know, that's really neat. So, you know, she finishes up my haircut. My dad and I decided to plan our haircuts to get cut on the same day and the same time. And so I get my haircut done, and then she's like, hey, how does it look? And I'm like, oh, it looks fantastic, because let me tell you, she did a good job. She turned the slub mop that was on my head into a great haircut. She turned my bush. And let me tell you, it's a fine, white-ass golf course. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If anything, it's a good thing, because white golf courses, stereotypically, are usually more well-kept. Where am I going with this? Anyway, my dad gets my haircut next, and all that they talk about while he's getting his haircut is about how I talked with her. And she's like, wow, I don't get a lot of teenagers who talk, really. So, you know, apparently I was special or something. And so after we all like pay for our haircuts and everything, she hands me this blue sticky note slip of paper, and she's like, hey, you play on PS4, right? And I'm like, yeah, I play on PS4. She's like, here's my gamer tag, let's play online sometime. I'm like, that's so cool. So imagine this. Some attractive woman comes and cuts my hair, and then she gives me basically her gaming phone number. I felt so special. There's no words to describe how great I felt. And that's probably the best I felt all summer, because if I'm not getting my hair cut by pretty smart titans, I'm hating myself and reading memes and eating cereal and crying into said bowls of cereal. So, yeah. There's story time. I thought matchmaking would take longer. Now I can focus more on my gameplay, but now that I am talking and that I have conversation inertia, I might as well keep going, since I can kind of play and talk at the same time. Apparently not. What to talk about next? This entire summer hasn't been interesting. Like, I thought I'd do cool stuff. Like, I thought I'd start a webcomic, and then I realized I didn't have the resources to make a webcomic. And then I just wanted to make a comic, and then I realized... Oh my god, I relate with you, man. Trust me, that's something I feel for you with. Like, it's really bad whenever you cry into bowls of mini-wheats especially, because once they get soggy, there's no going back. Like, soggy mini-wheats are the worst thing ever, because, you know, they're fine whenever they're just doused in milk, you know? Like, the cream pairs really well with if you're drinking almond milk. And if you're not drinking almond milk, it still goes pretty well, because, I mean, it's freaking mini-wheats. But whenever you cry into them, you get your salty tears in them, and you make them even more soggy, and after a while, it just becomes wheat, because all of the, like, sugar dissolves into the milk. It's not a good, it's a very bad. Yeah, cereal habits. Never really thought I'd be discussing this on the internet with a stranger, but I mean, you know, can be bad. So yeah. I just realized that I've been streaming for like 20 minutes, and all I've talked about is crying into bowls of cereals and barbers who share in my fantasy. Which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing, either, but there's more interesting things to be talking about. I could be talking about the Syrian crisis and all of the terrorists that are walking around and killing people just to scare others. But no, I'm talking about possibly the whitest thing ever. Me meeting somebody who plays video games while getting my hair cut. And then comparing my haircut. Yeah, and then comparing my haircut to golf greens. Yeah. There we go. So, yeah. Let me think of another story to tell you since I have company now. I'm not used to having company, as you can tell. I'm not very social. Oh, I have a great story. So everybody knows that one freak in their classroom whenever they still, like, were in school. I'm still in school. You know, so... But, I mean, I'm imagining that the people who are watching me are adults, because this is a game about guns, but... To be honest, I have a very high chance of meeting my friends through this. Anyway, back on topic, like an actual commentator would be, there's always that one freak or really weird person that you meet in either professional lives or through education. And in this case, let's call her Samantha. I had that weird person, and her name was Samantha, okay? So, Samantha was a really weird girl, and I believe she had Down syndrome because her face wasn't... This is gonna sound really mean, but her face wasn't necessarily correct, in a sense. Like, it wasn't aligned properly, and it didn't have quite the right proportions. So, of course, she developed a speech impediment since her mouth was off level and her muscles were made for a level mouth, right? So, of course, she talked really oddly, and since she could never really express her ideas, she never really learned anything, which I learned through the year. Because I had her for my home ec class. Simone? No. She's not Simone. This Samantha... oh, wait. If you and I know each other, and we're talking about the same... Simone's a pretty cool person, if she doesn't start off as an asshole towards you. Anyway, Simone... well, anyway, she's not the brightest person, and she speaks really oddly. And so, I guess, since she couldn't really communicate with other people, she never really learned... Oh, that's you, Zach? Oh, cool. Well, she never really learned social norms, in the sense that she doesn't know what's normal and not. And this is gonna sound really mean. But one day we're just sitting in class, right? And so we're sitting in class, and we all got really bored because our teacher was just talking about how different, like, gluten flour things interact with each other, and, like, all different cheeses and shit, like how to make meals. Wait, no, this wasn't home ec. This was careers exploration. Yeah. Ha! You cannot escape my throwing knife. This is careers exploration, sorry. She was talking about different jobs and stuff. Same teacher. She's a really cool teacher, by the way, if anyone knows her. Anyway, she was talking, and we had already heard this before, so we just decided to kind of mess around and fold paper and talk to each other and listen to music, because a lot of the kids in that class were not good kids, if you will. Ooh, that was pretty fresh. So I'm gonna set my controller down. So we're sitting there, and I start folding paper, right? I start making, like, an origami crane, and if anybody knows me, personally, that's watching the stream now or when it's on YouTube, I am a large origami fan. I like making little paper cranes, and I like making paper birds and everything. Those are the same things. But, like, at my desk, I have origami petals and stuff. This is my paper stuff that I'm jiggling right in front of my microphone. And so I start folding, and so I see Samantha pull out a sheet of paper from her binder, right? And she starts folding with me, right? She starts following my folds. And what I do is that since I'm working with notebook paper, and origami usually uses square sheets of paper, I fold it, right? And then the tab that comes off after it, I fold against it, lick it, and then tear it, right? Now, don't get the wrong idea. I don't lick it excessively. I just like 2 lines with my tongue touching the paper, and then that's done. And trust me, you develop a rough tongue because Jesus Christ, you cut your tongue a lot whenever you do it incorrectly. But I just lick my paper, tear it, and I get a perfect square whenever I unfold the triangular folded part. You'll be able to see this in my hardcore origami video if you really want to look and cringe. God, I'm not proud of that. That's neither here nor there. But but she starts doing that, right? And so then she sees the red line on her notebook paper and then folds on that. And then she licks that and then rips off the sheet. And as I'm folding, I'm noticing that she keeps on doing this with the red lines on her notebook paper. She like keeps tearing the paper, and she's not doing my like light little like 2-pass system. No, she's like fucking making out with it, right? Like she is like, she would be a very good well, I mean, except for her face, she would be a very good lesbian porn star. Just gonna say, like, her tongue work, although it was disgusting and sloppy, it was slightly beautiful. And it sounds weird coming from me, but I'm an introvert. It doesn't really matter. Well, so she's just making out with this paper, tearing it apart and making out with it more. And so I'm like, hey, you know what? She may be trying to make something else. I don't want to let her have any problems. So, of course, I pull out a notebook sheet paper of my own, and I start following her folds and rips that she's been making. But I do it nicer because I'm not, oh, that's going to sound really mean. I'm not deformed, if you will. And I have just more discipline over tearing paper with my tongue. Yeah. So I do that, right? And so I just start, and I see that she stopped, and she crumbled it up, and she looks really upset. And I'm still in the middle of following her folds. And I memorized her folds because it's kind of hard to forget somebody making out with paper. Like, you'd be surprised how scarred you can become from doing that. Or somebody else doing that. And, okay, he's not there. And just... So she's got this paper, right? She's tearing it, and I'm tearing it too. She crumbles up her paper, and I'm still tearing mine. More nicely, if you will. And so then, once I finish up, I hand her the paper, right? And I'm like, and I tell her, hey, I noticed that you were folding paper. I wanted to make sure that you got the right size paper, so I was trying to help you. And she's like, oh, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you were folding something, right? And she's like, no. It's like, then what were you doing? She was like, I was trying to see if the paper was poisoned. If the paper was poisoned, I don't know what to say about people like that. I mean, I don't check if my paper's poisoned, and if somebody really wanted me dead, they just have to poison one of my copy sheets of paper that I don't draw on. So, you know. That's kind of how you kill me. But I mean, I'd imagine that she doesn't do it a lot, since she was so, like, formless with her paper cutting. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on those strange people you meet in life. And that was my story. Watching. And anybody who decides to watch this post-production, something that I've learned, or at least kind of come up with, is whenever you go grocery shopping, you'll notice that your cart has those little black plastic rectangles on them, right? And those are places where you put your advertisements for, and you'll see them say, like, advertise here. And basically what they do then is that they take your company's name, number, and whatever images you'd like to associate yourself with, and put them on the cart. Sorry for taking your kill, Mr. Ken Dogs. But basically, that's what they do, right? And so when they're shopping, people see the advertisements, and they're like, oh, I should probably go do shit and buy their condoms. So you do that, right? But the thing is that confused me, is that basically what the cart advertisement companies are doing is that they're printing out, like, sheets of copy paper and then putting them in the black paper squares. And sometimes it's not copy paper, but like sometimes I check them, right? I feel them and I'm like, how much work did they put into this? And then it's like, it's just fucking copy paper. And so the thing that really makes me mad is that cart advertising is so pointless, because what is keeping you from putting your own printed sheet of copy paper on there? Huh? You know, like, seriously. And if people really want to take measures against people who want to put their own advertisements on there without paying for it, shoot. Oh, I'm still on air. Okay. But if you try and take measures against people who put their copy papers on it, and you have to like lock it or something, that's just putting too much energy into copy paper on freaking, you know, on carts. You're locking paper in a little plastic square on a cart. I think is just absolutely pointless. And most people don't see the cart advertisements anyway. So what's the point? Please tell me I got a kill with that. No, I did not. Right? Like, does that make you mad? Because it makes me really angry. To sum it all up, cart advertising is stupid. And I don't like it. I'm still on air. Okay, sorry. I keep checking if I'm on air. Alright. Just gonna try one more thing. Bear with me for the blind screen. Let me give you background music. Okay, Mr. Way Too Obvious, you are my friend Zach. Welcome to the stream, Zach. And we're still on. Awesome. Cool. Wait, can you hear my voice? Yes? No? I need to know. Can you hear my voice? Never mind. I'll, maybe I should restart the stream. I don't know. I probably will end up having to. Oh, okay. Never mind. Alright, I can hear you. Alright, sorry. The comment came in a little late. Everything is fine. Because I got a notification flashing that said I didn't have a strong enough connection to stream. Which I think is kind of stupid, because it's still up. And I'm still doing multiplayer on Destiny. Anyways. That kind of really pisses me off. What was I talking about? Card advertising, yeah. Another thing is, like, if any of you people have been to a Walmart, at least within the last year and a half or two, you would have noticed that in the bathrooms there are sinks, right? And those sinks have like automatic faucets, right? And motion detectors will turn on and off the water. And the thing that makes me really upset about them is that they don't work as intended. Like, I understand that water is such an expensive resource that you can't trust the public with it, with free access to it in the bathrooms. So you have to put a computer in charge and deciding how much water somebody gets to wash their hands. You know, but still, it's like not okay. Because it's water. It can't cost too much, and you only get delinquents leaving the faucet on every once in a while, right? So the thing is that it horribly backfires, because by then you're just inconveniencing your customer and making them not want to go there because they can't clean their hands whenever they take a shit. It's not good news. You know, like, because if you run your hand under them, the computer eye doesn't see you, right? It's like, does not compute. I can't see. I don't think you should get water because that's a man's dirty hand. You know, and then you finally get it to work, and that one special angle, and your wrist is like right up against the faucet because nobody knows how to engineer a sink correctly. So, you finally get it working. You finally moisten your hand so you can clean it and have the soap agent work. And then you run your hand under the automatic soap dispenser because they can't trust you with soap either. And then that was a really fast TDK there, by the way. And then you just get, and then like one little soap thing isn't enough. Do you understand the insanity that happens whenever people try and use automatic hygiene stations? You know, and then you do like two little like automatic soap things, then it becomes too much, and it's terrible. You know, because I don't need that much soap, computer. Thank you, but like seriously, man, I'd rather not. I really wish that companies didn't have to pay for soap, because then they wouldn't be like, oh no, the soap. You know what? Maybe it's actually that people will pick up the soap bottles or spray the soap in places and just make a mess. But the other thing is how can you make a mess with soap? You just have an excess of soap that isn't in a container by that point. So, you know, what's the problem here, officer? I swear to drunk I'm not God. Or just totally missed that fusion rifle, whatever. Okay, that hurt a lot. So, that's my thought on automatic sinks and everything. That's probably why I have anger issues. Because I find things that are heavily flawed and I never really let go of them. I should really start seeing a therapist. My life has gone to shit. At least for somebody with as much potential as a white boy who looks moderately good and just got out of his breaking out phase. Alright, I just broke the game. Let me just check if the stream still exists. Yep, we're still in there. Whoa, am I the only person here? Oh, it's me and High Dragon. Maybe they couldn't take my super good commentating skills. Just became a 1v1 between me and High Dragon. Haha. Cool. You're nearing victory, Guardian. Or some shit like that, Shaq says. Yeah. So I've shared how I feel about automatic sinks and stuff. I've shared my weird story about a stranger, or about a person in the classroom. And then about my super hot barber that also plays Destiny. What else can I talk about? How else can I be interesting? Oh wait. That's right, isn't it? Alright, Mr. Titan, you won't get the sneaks on me. Ha! Your fusion grenade can't beat my fusion rifle. This is pretty much what this game has come to. Yeah. Well, I hope my commentary isn't boring now that I'm just playing video games. I wish there was a button where it just brings up that tiny little notification every time you pressed it. This guy's probably getting really sick of me using my fuse rifle.
Targets eliminated. Congratulations, Guardian. Nice work.
That was fun. Well, I don't really have anything else to do, or to say, unless of course I come up with it. Huh. Oh, I think I know. I also have another story about the IKEA furniture that almost tore my family apart. Yeah, that. I think... Actually, no, it's not even IKEA furniture, it's an American knockoff. American knockoff, American beauty. I really need to get a life. Well, anyway, it's a long story. So, for the longest time, I have wanted a desk in my room, right? So I've always wanted a desk at my father's place because I've had a desk at my mom's for a while, and it's proven itself useful. Being able to draw and set a computer down on a desk alone, and be able to draw in your room. It's a very valuable thing that a lot of people live without because they don't have enough room. Well, since I am a white boy who's in a privileged family and always has a roof over my head, I have room in my room. Irony. Well, I've always wanted a desk, and so one day we went to Nebraska Furniture Mart, which is this huge furniture place, right? Like gargantuan. And like after 30 minutes of looking, I found the desk that I wanted. It's a very nice desk, and I'm playing with it right now. You can hear my desk's keyboard thing under it moving around. And I actually put my PlayStation in the keyboard tray so that I can put discs in and out really easily and don't have to get up because I'm lazy as fudge. But the point that I'm trying to get to is that this desk almost single-handedly wrote divorce papers. It's a funny story. So I wanted this desk, right? And this desk is a surprisingly complex model. It is, let me pull out the instructions, just in case I ever want to have my stepmother and my father ever leave each other. It is a computer desk with Hutch, the Harborview Collection number 401634, developed by Solder Wood Industries, it says. And it says, for all your newfangled gadgetry. No, this instruction book is, yeah, it says it's a 4 out of 5 star complexity desk. And so, one thing that I didn't know, like an agreement that my father and stepmother made a while ago, is that they would never purchase non-pre-made furniture. But since this desk was the one, Jill decided to make an exception for me. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, I'll take it. And so I ended up getting a awesome desk. This desk is very nice, but building it was a pain in the ass. It came in 2 huge, heavy boxes that we had to have, like, really big, burly dudes come and take care of. Was that the sniper I got? Oh no, I got motes. And so, it was a pain getting the parts into my room because I had to put them away or I had to put them in my room because we were going to build it in my room because we couldn't take it from the living room to my room because it's like a 70-pound desk. And I know that sounds weird, but like its corners are very sharp, and then digging into your hands walking like a few feet actually is pretty hard. But it's just a heavy desk, and we're like, no, we don't want to go through the trouble of moving it again, so we're just like, fuck it, Easton, clean your room, we're gonna build it in there. And I'm like, okay. So I tidy up my room and we build it in here, but building it took 2 days. Okay, there we go. The instructions, right, they require it from 1 piece from the first box and 1 piece from the second box. So here, my father, my stepmother, and I are standing in my room looking at the 2 boxes, and we're like, how the hell are we going to open this? Because this door, or this box, is about as tall and half as wide as my door. It's a huge box, right? So we just have to, like, put one end against the wall and the other flat on the floor, just like falling, right? And so we have to open the box, right? Pull out all the contents one by one. And that was a long time because there's a bunch of little parts to it that are all everywhere because God knows who packages these things, right? So we look through it and we're like, wait, where's plank A? I can't find plank A. and Dad's like, oh, plank A must be in the other box. And he's like, no, plank A was supposed to be in the first box that we open. And so they have like a mini argument about that, and they're like, what? Like they're just arguing with each other, not having a good time. I'm not doing that quest. Moon. So, you know, they're just arguing, living up life with each other. And let's drop into patrol. And so, boxes on the floor, pieces of wood are everywhere. And so one by one, I just noticed there's writing on the side of the boards. And I realized that we have to look at the writing on the sides of the boards. And these boards are like really thin. So it doesn't make for very legible handwriting. But like, I look for a while, and like, I grab the H board and I grab the A board. And I'm like, hey Dad, which one do you think is the A board? And he's like, I can't tell, Easton, there's nothing on it. And I'm like, oh, well, there's something that looks like an A here, and something that looks like a slightly less drawn A here. And he's like, alright, grab the book manual thing. And I'm like, okay, let me just grab it here. Let me see what it says. Alright, hardware identification. Step 1. Assemble your unit on a carpeted floor or on the empty carton to avoid scratching the floor. To begin assembly, push solder to... Grab boards A and B, and place them parallel against the floor. And so we pull it out, and the A and the H boards look different. Like, the A board is just a square, or no, a rectangular board, right? And the H board is like this curved thing with a bunch of lines in it. It's at the bottom of my desk, because it goes there. Excuse me. That's a shank. Pa. I can one-shot with my scout rifle, yeah. Jealous? Well, so, you know, we grab the A board, and then we're like, oh, yeah, the B board's in the other box. So we grab the second box, oof, let it fall on the floor, you know, grab it from there. Grab the B board from there. Where am I going with this? Yeah. Set them aside together, and we start putting it together, right? Now, our next problem doesn't arrive until we're like 45% the way in there. And so if you looked at the desk when we were 45% in, it kind of looked like it was able to stand on its own, right? So Dad's like, hey, don't you think it would be easier if we just stood it up the way it is and then continue putting pieces in there so we have gravity working for us? Because the way the desk is built is that it has holes in the boards, and then it came with like little pieces that you put in the holes that are supposed to be really tight and work like screws. And I really wish I had pictures to show you, but this is a stream. But like, it's kind of weird because we didn't find that out until 30% in, and we were supposed to do that at the very beginning, and we're just like, fuck it, we'll find it out later, and whenever we need it, we'll take care of it. And so then we figure it out at 30, and then 45, we're like, oh, so yeah, let's just stand it up. And so we call in my sister, right? So we have 4 people lifting the desk and trying to rotate it, right? We lift... Oh, hello. Oh, another person, yay. So we lift the desk up, right? We put it on its feet, and we just open... There's another person. Holy shit, give me a second. I know I'm standing still, and I know you can't see anything now, but... Just... Oh, hey, Trial! It's been ages. Yeah, well, anyway. I'm talking about how building a desk almost single-handedly took down my... My controller died. Sorry about that. Okay. Alright. Everybody can hear me, right? Right? Let me see. Yeah, alright, good. So, we're putting the desk up on its feet, right? And then once we get it about rotated 80 degrees somewhat, like, because it's lying on its back, right? We get it rotated 80 degrees, and then we hear this, like a hole's being ripped from the sky by the gods in order to reach a hand through and just punch me in the face. Anyways, so we rotate the desk and we hear the wood crack, right? And we're like, oh shoot, what board was that? And it was the H board I was talking about earlier. It was the one that was on the bottom. And so Dad's like, oh no, we just ruined the thing. And Jill's like, we might have. Hey Easton, go see if you can figure out the answer to this problem. I'm like, alright, that's no big deal. So I'm looking around the house, right? I'm running around. I'm like, oh, there's duct tape. I'm like, oh, there's masking tape. Oh, there's yarn, because I thought yarn would be able to fix an IKEA desk. That isn't even IKEA. I don't know. I don't know either. But so I'm running around and then I see like Gorilla Wood Glue, right? Gorilla Wood Glue. Gorilla Wood Glue, if you don't know, Trial, since you're in Minnesota, I believe, it's an adhesive that is super strong, like very powerful stuff, right? So I'm like, huh, I wonder if this would be any good. And so, for some reason, God knows why, I take off the cap, right? And so I'm looking at this cap, and I'm like, huh, I doubt that this is actually that strong. And so, I take a bit of the glue, and then I put just a bit on my finger, and then I touch it to my thumb. And then I separate my fingers, and it hurt so much. Like it didn't even have that long to adhere, right? Because I was just like snapping, but not snapping, just kind of separating my fingers in the way that would be. And so I do this, right? And it hurts, like skin is torn off of my thumbs. But I'm like, you know what? Mountain climbers use super glue to add layers to their skin. How about I find some super glue and do that to myself? And that was a bad idea as well. I just covered an open wound with more glue. And I mean, I was able to brush it off, you know, it was no big deal. It only hurt for a second afterwards, and then it was fine. But I hurt my finger, and so I was like, oh wait, this is wood glue, and wood just broke. Let me go over and tell them about my revelation that is going to totally help the American society develop a better tomorrow. Well, anyways. So, I'm there, right? And so I'm like, hey, Jill, do you think that this wood glue could help? And she's like, oh, that'll definitely help. It'll have to sit for a while. And I'm like, sit for a while meaning? And she's like, oh, we're gonna have to grab a pincher, and we're gonna have to, you know, stick the glue in there and then have the pincher apply pressure to the wood and the glue at the same time, so it will adhere and create the super strong bond. And so I'm thinking in my head, if it can do that to my fingers, I don't even want to know what it'll do whenever it adheres properly. So, you know, I'm just kind of scaring myself shitless about the strength of Gorilla Glue and why we haven't put that shit in the Pentagon quite yet. But but like, I'm like, oh, okay. And so we put the glue in there, and like my mom or my stepmom and dad are talking to each other, and they're like, Jill, how are we gonna fix this? And she's like, we got glue, it'll be all right. And he's like, oh, okay. And so they're just kind of arguing about the desk, and I'm like, oh wow, Jill is going to be really upset. So, you know, she's like, all right. She applies the glue, she puts on the pincher, you know, she lets it sit. She does her thing, you know, and everything's fine for that day. Oh, there's a chest there. I'm gonna take it. Oh, there's a quest that I just fixed. So, so next day rolls by. The desk is not standing upright. It fell. Because, like, it's in my room, and I couldn't sleep in my room because the glue was giving off fumes. And so I was like, okay. So I just grabbed my blanket in there, and slept on the couch for that night. I look over in my room whenever I wake up the next morning, and the desk has fallen over, which is always fun. But, like, nothing got hurt, luckily, or else that would have been even worse. Oof, excuse me. Yes, Ghost, it could be. But I don't really care, because I'm telling stories to my friends. Excuse me again. But I'm just there, existing, watching my desk slowly fall apart because it's like it's not back against the ground, really. It's just like diagonal, like it creates a triangle with the floor and the wall. So it does that, and it does that because it does that. And I'm like, hey, Jill, Dad, come look at this. And they're like, oh, the desk. And so they like prop it back up. And they're like, wait, that's a bad idea. So they both like pick it up, like 2-minute, just super aggressively, like grunting, using their legs and everything. Just put it back on its back. And then they're like, okay, I think the H board is fine. We can put that on and it'll all be great. And so we start wrapping up the desk, right? We start putting on the legs and everything. We start putting in the drawers and the doors and the little shelves. I'm making noises because you can't hear, which is why you're hearing stuff. And so they put it together, right? There's just the last few pieces left, and they have to put together the drawers, and then they'll be done with this desk, and they can finally enjoy each other's company again. But wait, there's more. It would not be an interesting story if it did not end like that. So, we're looking at this desk, trying to figure out how this last part kind of comes into the desk, because we built the drawers before the doors, and the doors are on the center part of the lower half of the desk below the actual desk part. Because this is where you're supposed to put your computer, so your computer would be in the middle of the desk, and drawers would be on your left and your right. Right? So we put in our drawers, and then we're like, where does the computer department come in? And it turns out the way you're supposed to build the desk is from left to right, and you're supposed to put it on its left side and build up. Which is not good. And so we end up having to dismantle the entire desk and then put it back together in that way so that we don't break more wood again. And, it was very agonizing doing that. Like I said, that desk almost single-handedly tore my father and stepmother apart. But you know what? The desk looks fine. I've yet to break it. Looks pretty good. I'm not worried. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot this captain. Could you stop that, Mr. Nope. Why do I even play games? Let me just go into orbit so you can see the pretty skyboxes. But, yeah, that desk just totally ruined my family. Yeah. Or, well, it didn't ruin it, but almost. Very closely. It came very close to ruining it. Ruining the sweet little family we had. Ooh. Upgrades. Gotta love me some upgrades. Gunslinger. Oh. Over the horizon. Pfft, don't need that. Fusion rifle ammo. I'm not gonna upgrade blue. So, now what to talk about next? Can we just admire how pretty this game is? Like, this desk looks so good. This midnight starship thing. Let me show you in better detail. Look at that. Ah, it's so pretty. So yeah, I've just been pretty much spending my July reading memes and drinking Kool-Aid, minus the Kool-Aid part. Oh, I have a thing that might explain some stuff to one person in this stream, which I guess kind of goes against this being a video for YouTube as well. But my tablet, you know, my main kind of communication device, if you will, because it has Skype and all of my social media, it decided to give up the ghost in the sense that it wouldn't connect to the internet after I restarted it, right? And so it wouldn't connect for the longest time. And yeah, that is kind of strange because it's never done that before, and I've never heard of that happening to anybody. But it did. So, you know, is that Paradox? Yeah. Wait, I completed Paradox? Cool. I'll visit the reef for shits. So yeah, and I haven't been able to talk to a lot of people. I feel really bad about it because there was one person I've been missing out talking to that I was kind of looking forward to spending my summer with. And of course that ended up not happening. Oh well. I've got to keep these people entertained. I've got to keep these people alive and a part of the dream. Gotta be a part of the dream, man. Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure if anybody's heard this story. It's a really funny story, and a lot of people don't believe it. But that's just because they're in disbelief. A while ago, when I was still in school, I'm now back addressing to anybody watching this video or stream. Ooh, I'll take the Velumbra. Fuck yeah. Oh, whoops. Give me my sparrow. Swipe. Yeah. When I was in school, you know, I was living life, breathing air, blowing through without a care, taking it in just to let it go. That's a show. Pretended sound. Prison elders. A lot of people thought I was gay, right? And they thought this because no reason at all. I don't really remember a reason, but they all just thought I was gay, and they would always make fun of me by like calling me, "Oh, Easton, get away from me! I don't want you to be gay and touch me." I'm like, "Oh, all right, be that way." But one day, things got a little out of hand whenever I told somebody about my Dillard's experience. And if you don't know what I mean by this, you're about to be schooled, because this isn't necessarily a broad topic. It's a personal joke that I'm about to share to everybody on the internet, because I have no sense of boundaries. Yes, boundaries. That's the word I'm looking for. My Dillard's experience all starts with a drunk man. Now, this drunk man I did not know, because this drunk man is a man that was drunk walking behind a Dillard's for God knows why. How do I turn off this lamp? Do I just... Come on. There we go. Wait. There we go. Sent the Dark Knight. Sorry about that. Right? So, I'm just walking behind this Dillard's because I have nothing really to do, and my mom was gonna get home really late that day, and I didn't want to stay around the house because, you know, it's not a fun place to be, because it's boring, and I wasn't able to do any of the cool stuff that I like to do. So I just didn't really have any interest being home, and so I'm just sitting behind this Dillard's because I'm trying to find a way in like a ninja without being detected by any detectors or anything. I've gotten really good at that recently. Anyways, so I'm just sitting here, right? And then this drunk man is like, "Hey, kid." I'm like, "Yeah, what?" He's like, "I bet you don't know what it's like to have your kids taken away from you." And I was like, "No, sir, I don't, because I haven't had kids." And he's like, "Yeah, that's the thing with you millennials. You don't know what pain feels like. You're just walking around with all your genders and Tinders and whatnot." He was obviously very drunk. You could smell it in his breath, considering how close I got to him, which is what made this story interesting. Oh, dear God. Am I really about to do this? Yep. Well, so this man, he just kind of like starts mocking the millennial stereotype, not knowing that I am, I don't really know how to answer that question without sounding self-centered, but I don't have a smartphone, so half of the shit he said doesn't really apply to me. And I'm not a dolphin, so the other half of the shit didn't really apply to me. But I'm still telling this story, as you can see. So he's like, kid, you know, whenever you don't have imaginary things like that to keep you happy, you get really upset. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, one of the main things that makes me upset is having a job and having responsibilities. And all you kids are like, oh, I want to grow up so I can do this. No, you don't. Your parents are paying for everything. Your food, your phones, your water, your beds. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they do, and I know that, and I'm very thankful for it. A lot of people aren't in my situation where they have a meal every night. And he's like, you're one of the rare ones, kid. I was wondering that, since you're so special, maybe you could help me not be so upset. Now, I didn't really know where this man was going with the conversation, but I can guarantee you that I knew he wasn't about to ask me to tell him a joke or do a tap dance number with me like in a musical. No, he was dead set on one certain thing. This man, after a bit of sitting around and debating with himself whether or not he should say it, asked me if he could pay me to blow him.
Whether we wanted it or not.
I mean, I'm gonna be frank. I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. Okay? So, you know, I sat and I thought about it, like, you're gonna have to give me something. He's like, alright, I'll give you $20. And I'm like, oh, really? Well, then, okay. And so, just behind this Dillard's, this guy whips out his dick, and it smelled terrible. Like, really bad. Like, imagine your puppy dying, right? And then dip him in Cool Ranch. That's how bad it was. You know. Well, anyways. So, it smelled bad, right? I'm like, alright. So I take his little wobbler out, and it's like 4 or 5 inches. I understand why he's depressed and reliant on 14-year-old boys to make him happy. That sounded creepy. But I stick it in, you know. I do the BJ routine for about 5-6 minutes, and then just out of nowhere he's like, and then my mouth is filled with his children. And then he passed out. So I took his wallet, left him there, and I don't regret a single thing. Yep, I just shared that story with everybody. And I'm proud. I'm proud to say I got money for 5 minutes of an embarrassing, yet slightly entertaining story. Long story short, I lost nothing from that. Except I did get called gay a lot for telling that story. So, I'm not really sure who wins in that situation. But I mean, I got $20. I got a Matt Pack and French fries at Whataburger. So, you know. Can't be too mad. That's my story. I mean, I'm not sure if having your mouth filled with guys' children is a good or bad thing. It's probably a bad thing, considering what that implies. But I mean, you know, whatever. $20 is $20. How are you guys doing? I haven't heard you guys send oh, there we go. Okay, you guys said something, but I couldn't hear it because Scion were firing at me. Alright, I'm gonna look at that. Sorry about that. Flashing. There's a side that you didn't know about me, I guess. That you know now. Zack attack.
Wow.
Oh, I'm not necessarily proud of it either, but I'm gonna just stop talking about that situation that I got myself involved in. Let's think of another story, Skippy, shall we? I just realized that the guys that I'm playing with heard that entire story. Oops. That was unintentional. YOLO? Oh, this is a bad place to be. I'll take the Centurion kill. Yeah, so another story. Yeah, get fucking drag scope, Legionary. Earlier in the stream, I was talking about how I had a scar on the back of my head from an accident I had as a child. Now that is an interesting story in itself that I'll tell. This goes way back to when your little Skippy was more like a little Walk-y, if you will. So, you know, let's call my younger self Walky. Or Walk. Yeah, instead of Skip. Walk Adventure. Walk Youth. It's Walk Youth if we're going full names. So, imagine little Skippy, or Walk, right? Walk is there at a pool, you know, with his sisters, enjoying life, because I didn't know how bad it would be, and how bad it would get. And little Walk is just sitting there, talking about, like, unicorns, and whatever else kids talk about. And he decides, oh, I'm gonna go swim today, because Little Walk didn't know that... Oh, is that a calcified fragment? No, but I'll take the ghost. Little Walk didn't know that, you know, life could end. So he just was like, oh, let me go swim. And he wasn't sure about swimming. Not because he was drowning, but because he didn't want to get chlorine in his eyes. So, you know, Walk's father, really cool dude, he bought Little Walk a pair of goggles for no real reason. Just other than being awesome and making it so I can swim, because it was a pretty hot summer. Like, we're talking about Texas heat here, you know, and Texas heat is not very fun to be in, especially for little kids who don't drink water or alcohol for that matter. I didn't drink when I was little. I do now though. Helps drown the pain. Off topic. You know, Little Walk, Little E-Walk, Little L-Walk, Little S-Walk, Swak sticker. I'm not a racist. Little Walk here, you know, decided to go swimming with his sisters, and his sisters realized that it was pretty boring just swimming around, because I couldn't swim very well. Like, you guys tread water, right? Like, you just kind of sit in water with stuff, or sit in water and float. Little Walk couldn't tread, so he always had to be moving forward, or else he would drown. Or else he would have to have somebody pull him out of the water. So, you know, Walk, he's just kind of minding his own business, swimming forwards and backwards. You know, it's kind of boring. So I'm like, hey Dad, is there anything else we can do? And he's like, well, I booked I got this pool card for a long time, so I hope you're happy. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so my sisters are like, oh, there's this really cool thing you can do, Little Walk, if you'd like to, you know, have more fun. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, all you have to do is just get on my back. And I'm like, okay. Little Walk didn't know what would happen after that. Little Walk got on his sister's back, and his sisters were jumping off little ledges, right? Little ledges, and these ledges led into the pool, and the ledges had a waterfall and everything. So, you know, it's just a nice, peaceful little ledge, and I just threw a knife at a tank. And dealt more than a bullet would. Oh shit, that's not a good place to be. Booking it. Okay, sorry about that. And so they just keep... And so Wok just keeps getting on his sister's back and jumping into the water off of the ledge. And, the reason why this is important is because this is when little Wok got himself hurt. You see. Because what happened is that one time, when Wok was on his sister's back, his sister didn't jump far enough. And since I'm on my back, and since I'm on her back, since little Wok is on her back, he's farther back than his sister is. So his sister just judged the jump for herself, and not herself and the living thing on her back. So the corner of the bottom of the ledge that we were jumping off of strikes little Wok's head. And this is when Wok developed Tier 3 autism. Not really, but yeah. But Wok suddenly, for the first time in his life ever, wanted to take a nap. Strange, right? Little kids don't usually nap, and that's the thing. I was literally about to die. Little Wok, an innocent little kid, well, I mean, I guess not necessarily innocent, but a little kid was about to die. Because he was on his sister's back when they jumped off a ledge. And so this left a scar on the little boy's head. And this scar would end up not making it possible for hair to grow there. And that was a bad thing, because later in little Wok's life, he would grow up and become a skip. And that skip would get a haircut, forget about his scar, and then ultimately pay the price. Long story short, little Wok was rushed to a hospital, and he made it alive with major brain damage, but we don't talk about that. And I'm glad that I told that story, because that segues into my next story that isn't really as serious in comparison, but still kind of means something. If you guys are up to hear it, I think I'm gonna kill Valis first. Should probably go.
Scar on my head too.
Cool. But you see, you're like Harry Potter, while I'm just like little Wok in our previous story. Oh, fuck you, Fuse Rife.
I was a little lightning bolt once.
And then you grew up to be a large storm. Sorry I called you by your clan name, by the way, earlier. I totally forgot about how that worked. By the way, congratulations on that. Yeah. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, or just catch on that ledge, Mr. Throwing Knife. Yes. You're welcome, Holmes. You die. I don't know how to kill these guys. Like, I can't make them oh. Okay. I thought I couldn't make them flinch. There we go. Ooh, legendary engrams. Oh, I thought they were. That's just the way light reflects off floors.
Did you ever use the gameplay?
Gameplay. Oh, I'm about to. I haven't been able to edit for the past month because I've been here and not at my computer. Because my computer is with my mother, but I'm at my father's right now for the month of July. Which is nice. I'm glad that I'm here, because I don't get to see my dad a lot. I will, though. And I'm glad that I was able to get it and get you the gift card in time. Thanks for that, by the way. Well, while we wait for the loading screen of the next strike mission, I will tell the next story. So, this is a story all about how little Skippy's life
If you need more,
kinda turned to
I'll be
shit.
happy to do so.
Oh, thank you. Yay. Because God knows I'll run out. These streams are pretty much my content for now, because that's how that works. Because that's the only way I can make videos here. I mean, I guess I can get YouTube capture on my tablet, but be absolute shit. Alright. So, back to serious time. One day, little Skippy decided he was fed up of being disgusting. Weird, right? It sounds kind of strange, but this is Skippy before he discovered memes. I mean, he had heard of memes back then, but he didn't realize that spending your time watching or reading memes was much better spent than with actual humans. Which I actually now regret the lifestyle of. But nonetheless, I was tired of being a little sickly boy. Little country boy. I guess I'm not really in the country. Who looked disgusting. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a salon and get my hair cut to be like another white boy. I'll get a generic white boy haircut, and I'll suddenly be accepted by society. It didn't work like that in the end. And anyway, I go get to have my haircut again, and I've told this story before. Well, not this story before, but I've told a story like this before in the same stream. So I guess I'm treading dirty water, but fuck it. I used to be able to do that. Anyway, there goes my controller. I went and got my haircut, right? I went to a Sports Clips, which is a much worse place than when I met the badass hairstylist. But I got my haircut there, right? And so, since I didn't know the lingo that barbers used in order to cut hair, I had to just show pictures of what I wanted. And it was basically like my original haircut was, except shorter and buzzed at the sides. Buzzed with, I believe, a 4 razor? I couldn't really tell from the picture, but it looked like it. And that's what she used. Oh shit, there I go. Into the water. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh. So, here I am. In the Sports Clips. Getting my hair cut. And so I just have her do the photo, right? And so she's like, do you want it to keep it longer or shorter in the photo? And I'm like, why do you ask? And I was like, because you won't retain your curl if you go at that length. And I'm like, oh, alright, that's fair. I mean, I don't really want length because that's what makes me look like a fucking slob. But nonetheless, I'm like, I just like it longer, please. Because I figured if they cut less hair, it's less, it costs less. Right? I'm gonna just sit by this. So, I go, and I get my hair cut. And, while she's cutting it, she's just, like, talking to me. So she's like, so, do you do sports whenever you're bored? And I'm like, no, I play video games. And she's like, oh, I could tell by your physique. And so that just kind of set me off, but I couldn't say anything because she's cutting my hair. And if she's cutting my hair, she's basically in direct control, tapping into my social life. So I'm just like, you know what, fine, all right, whatever. You know, I'll just let it slide. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not very fit, as you can tell. And so we're waiting for a third person to connect to the strike, I believe. You can start it if you'd like. I can play while I talk, but it just won't be good gameplay, Mr. You're Dead. So she's just cutting my hair. She's talking to me, and she's like, you know, my son plays sports. And I'm like, oh, really? That's great. It's nice to hear that you know, your son actually does something with his life. And she's like, oh, honey, you're probably good at something, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, no. Before this, I read memes all day and showered once a week. And so she's like, oh, don't beat yourself up so much. And I'm like, nah, I think I can beat myself up. But, yeah. So we're just talking, and she's like, unintentionally throwing shade at me. You know, just being super catty for no real reason. But I'm not sure she realized that she was being catty until halfway into the haircut. Because I had some dirty hair. Like, let me tell you, it was not safe for human consumption. So I'm not really sure why I put her through that. Could have gotten into a lawsuit. Imagine me behind cell bars. Anyways, she's like, so, do you have a girlfriend? And I'm like, guess. And she's like, oh, you do? And I'm like, no, I don't. I said, guess, do I have a girlfriend? And she's like, oh, well, I guess you ruined this element of surprise now. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I did. And so, you know, she's just like talking shit to me, making me feel bad about myself while I cut my hair. And don't you dare snipe me, Mr. Vandal. Where'd you come from? Oh. Oh, that's a Crapton. That's probably a Bloodbound. Sorry. Focusing on the strike. So, you know, we're just talking, right? We're just having a small little conversation. It's small talk. Nothing compared to my Destiny Barber. This was before I met her, by the way. Oh, there goes my throwing knife. Nice knowing you, melee charge. There's so much fallen ether I gotta grab. And we're just talking. I'm gonna go check the percentage on the war sat. Sorry, again, this strike requires a lot of attention. 686. Awesome. 2/3 of the way there. I've gotta aim for precision shots. There we go. Got the captain that was coming in from behind. I ruined the orbs. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Friend. So we're just talking. She finally wraps up the haircut, and she's like, so, I'm done. Do you like the haircut? And I'm like, oh, yes, this will be great, thank you. And so my dad gets up, like, from the waiting room area, and he's like, alright, Easton, you ready to go? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to leave. And so, we get going, you know. And then, as we're walking away, my dad points out, like, Easton, were you stressed out during that? And I'm like, no, why you ask? And it's like, because you've got a bald spot on the back of your head. And it turns out that bald spot is actually where my scar was whenever I jumped off that pool when I was walk instead of skip. You know, it was kind of funny, actually. Oh, whoops. That was unintentional. And so, instantly, my father and my stepmother are like, hey, Skippy, don't worry about it. You look great, even with the bald spot. If anything, you look manlier. And they just, like, start trying to make me feel good about my haircut. Meanwhile, my anxiety is kicking in, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna be not accepted. Yeah?
Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep. Thank you.
Wow, Alex, thanks. That was my sister. I'm like, oh god, no, it's gonna be a terrible haircut. And, it's 12 in the morning, I just...
That means stop yelling at me.
Okay, I know. Sorry. I've got it.
Kind of reminds me of when I got my amazing haircut.
When you shave yourself bald, yeah. But like, I was freaking out, you know, because like,
ASMR us.
it's probably not a good idea, considering my mic is about to give out. Like, not battery-wise, but just, it's not gonna be good.
That's what DS called.
Dusty? Awesome. Threaten us with orbital death, Rasputin. So I'll just bring my mic in really close and whisper to you guys. Oh, this is what you meant by ASMR, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Well, this is some good shit right here, yeah. Well, so, my anxiety was kicking in, and I was freaking out about my haircut. And so, I was worried about, oh shit. I was worried because of people who would make fun of me about my haircut. And that's gonna hurt. Yes, it did. And guess what? People did. And I freaked out for like 2 or 3 weeks. And that was the last time I got a white boy haircut for a long time. And then I got it cut again, and I knew this time to warn them about the time Walk almost died. Yeah. So that's my other interesting story. Excuse me. I hope the Destiny gameplay is sufficient. How long have I been streaming? An hour? Let me check. Alright, share button. And you're blind now. My players progress, your comments. Oh yeah, you're right about the ASMR. Cause let's do that. Oh, cool. Hype. Alright, that's neat. One sec, I gotta do that. That's gonna be good. Yeah. Alright, cool. So I have a feeling I've been streaming for about an hour. Oh, almost 2. That's my watch. And you'll see that the screen changed. This makes it easier for me to keep track of... What the hell? Robotic sex be like... Oh yes, baby, oh god. Oh, you tried to get the voice thing to proc. Oh, well, good luck with that. I've got to make something interesting for people to look at. I've also got to make some interesting stuff for people to hear. Because this is going on YouTube, because I'm streaming through YouTube. You know, so... Shit happens. And... Alright, yeah, what? With the guess what? Unleashed. Many seek to claim the throne. Instead, we created a power vacuum. Malik thirsts for your light. No, it's Malak. Whoa. Huh, really? Awesome. I feel so much weaker now. Because the screen is smaller and formatted to an odd way. Oh, maybe. Let me turn that off then. Dude. Alright, try it now. Now it feels right.
Taken are cautious, hiding. I don't think it will be a problem. And here we go.
Oh, that could have been perfect. Alright. Waiting for the message to make the robotic noise.
No sign of the yet. He is close.
Waiting for it.
Malak, capture him, Guardian. Bring him to
Pokong.
prison of elders.
You want him alive? Whatever happened to kill them back?
Really? That sword hits nothing? Or blade? Alright, create this. Oh, yay. Oh, really? Awesome. Can she not access Skype? Because I, like, just wanted to say something. Voice-wise, through Skype, to her for the past while. And I haven't been able to do so. Because, you know. Oh, you wanna... Alright, goodbye. Oh, you do that! Ha. That's what you get, Mr. Phalanx. Boop. Goodbye. Alright. Creative story time. Creative is in the sense that I make it more interesting than it really is.
No robotic noise.
Oh, really? You can't hear it? Well, I can. And precision shot. Oh, that sucks. That also makes sense. Come on, throwing knife. He'll go away soon. Alright. They notice my rocket launcher and walk away.
Damn, I just realized that your stream was dash 0.52 seconds for me.
52 seconds for you? As in... what? I don't know what you mean by that.
Everything I was hearing was delayed.
Oh. Well, that makes sense now. I totally forgot about how delay works whenever you stream.
He's getting away.
It's fine, Ghost.
Malak delays judgment. Cannot escape it.
Just kill that bite. Then pull out this. Alright, that's gameplay done.
We follow. Taken will hold his echo. Find it.
Alright, I need another good story to tell, because that's how you make interesting commentary noises.
Cactus story.
Cactus story about Archie Bloom or the Anything's a Dildo If You're Brave Enough challenge. Because I've got stories for both. Tink tink.
Both.
What should I start with?
In all honesty, I've only been watching this for the stories. Emoji face with tears of joy.
Well, that's nice to hear, that my voice was enough to keep you, but it's also kind of sad that my gameplay wasn't. It's a bittersweet comment. But you know what? That's good news. That means that I'm interesting enough to keep people around watching boring gameplay of Destiny. Somebody who's terrible at the Crucible. And I find it kind of funny that I titled this stream, "Fuck it, let's go to the Crucible," when really it's, "Fuck it, let me just dick around in Destiny and talk about shit." Because, like, it was originally supposed to be me being really upset over why my fusion rifle wasn't working, but then I started actually getting kills with it, so that kind of threw it out of the window.
I've been talking to Alice and watching your stream.
Yay. Tell her I said hi, please. Alright. Ooh. I just dismantled that last rocket launcher. Apparently I had a quest. Ah, yes. Oh, did I rank up with Dead Orbit? Who knows? Oh. Oh, I
stories.
Okay, alright. One of the cactus stories. I don't know which.
It's probably only boring to me because I've never been a big fan of Destiny.
Oh.
I'm more of an RPG guy.
Huh, I didn't know that. Alright. Alright, boys and girls and dolphins and attack helicopters. Sit down, shut up, and strap yourselves in for the world's craziest ride through the wilderness. This is a nice stretch. Well, this story starts with a cactus. A cactus named Archie. Now, Archie was a very nice cactus. He never said anything rude, and he never really said anything at all, considering he had a lack of mouth and brain capable of cognitive thought, let alone understanding the English language. But we're talking about this. We're talking about this cactus and not its ability to speak. Archie is a cactus known by my family for his ability to grow flowers. And now by flowers, I mean blooms. And this is because we've named him Archie. We also call him Archie Bloom whenever he grows flowers. Now one day, Archie Bloom decided that he wanted to live a life of a flower. So he covered himself up in buds, and when he felt the time was right, he exploded in flowers. That's about the end of the story with Archie. Yeah. My saguaro cactus story that I had. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, right. Oh, okay. So now I know who asked the question. Alright, sorry. Give me just a second, both of you. Let's concentrate. Pumping object. Like big it. Cut the flow, Guardian. Oh, you fuck off, Mr. Hackerite. Alright, there we go. Okay, so my thing that I have to tell you is my saguaro cactus story. This is also about Archie, but this is when Archie was a different kind of a cactus. A baby saguaro cactus. And I can't remember the premise, but I remember one night going out and going out at night out onto the porch of my old apartment, right? And sitting on this cactus, right? This saguaro cactus. Little baby cactus, little Archie. And so I can't remember why. I think it was that I had to be manly or something, or that I was really upset and decided that shoving a cactus into my rectum was a good idea. I don't know what I was thinking back then, but I was thinking it, so I just went out there and then just sat on this cactus, and it hurt, and it bled, and it did not feel good, but bad. The reason why I'm telling you this is because the story does not end there. The story just begins there. So, I'm out there on the porch, saguaro in rectum, calling out to my parents, telling them, hey, I'm in a tight situation, can I have your help? And they realize that I'm over there and that I have a cactus up my butt. They're like, Skippy, how did you get in that situation? And I'm like, well, it's a funny story. I got upset or something. I can't really remember why I did it. I was like, and then I just kind of sat on Archie. And they're like, Easton, you don't do that. And I'm like, but I did. And it was...
A vegan's true dream.
Beacon? Oh, vegan. I can't remember the word for it, but there's like a term for people who get turned on by looking at plants. Screw it, I'm using gold gun. But anyway, I sit on there, and then they're like, okay, we need to call a doctor. This is not something we can solve by ourselves. So they call a paramedic over, right? And the paramedic comes over, you know, you hear ambulances just coming down the busy streets, right? Or not streets, but like, the way this place was is that it was a long corridor, right, where all of the apartment complexes were all like set next to each other, and there was 1 or 2 roads in between them, right? And these roads are where everybody sleeps next to, right? So you just hear these ambulances coming out like mee, mee, like screaming and waking everybody up, and then you just see a bunch of people coming out because they're woken up by the sirens and like, what? Like, what's going on? And then somebody decided that they had to explain that one of the little boys who lived in the districts, you know, just decided to become intimate with a saguaro cactus. And so the guy, he's like, okay, kid, what do you feel? And I'm like, pain. Mostly pain. And so he's like, okay, do you feel anything else? I'm like, a cactus up my butt? I don't know what to say. He's like, okay, well, let's see if we can fix this. Take 3, like, number 2 pencils, and then put them all together with a rubber band. It was about that wide, and then add, like, 9 more to it. Those were how the needles stuck out. Right? So, I'm sitting there, right, with Archie in me, and the doctor's like, okay, well, if I know anything about spiky foreign objects, being inside of little boys, he didn't say that, but I figured it would be funny, is that the only way it's coming out is the same way it's going in. And so he's like, okay, kid, if you want to get that out of yourself anytime soon, you're gonna have to try and poop. I'm like, what? You're gonna have to poop.
I'm bigger and in straight.
What? Oh. Well. So I'm sitting there, right, and a bunch of people had caught up with the ambulances, and they had gone around the apartment complex to see just a little boy squatting over a potted baby saguaro cactus, just like shitting all over this cactus, and him slowly rising from his squat. And it was just one of the most awkward and painful days of my life. I'm just gonna say that's pretty much where it ended. So that's Captain. Ow. Yeah, that's where my saguaro cactus story ends. Alright, any other stories that you guys would like to request, or anything you'd like to ask about for me to say stuff? Be greatly appreciated, because I need more things to talk about.
Goddamn Nevermind, how far up did it go?
Like 3.5 inches? Went down pretty far for it being a fucking cactus.
That did it. With the Martin lot. Next.
Yeah, alright, anything else? No? Okay. Way to put me on the spot, boys. Oh, this is bad.
Why you started YouTube?
Oh. Because I saw other YouTubers doing it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to do that. But really, what I wanted to do is become, like, one of those information resources, you know? Like, not like Keemstar, where he talks about drama. He talks about other YouTubers. I'm talking about people who do, like, research on certain topics. Usually ones that they're passionate about. And then are like, okay, cool. Let me go do research over this, and then I'll be able to tell everybody what I learned. Like, I wanted to be able to do that.
Sexual experience.
One awkward story after another, isn't it? Okay. So I need to know from you guys. Is it incest? If it's
Stupid nigger.
way to stay relevant. Everybody type in the chat, Alex is a smart person. Alex is an intelligent human. Not really, don't do that, that's a terrible idea. Where did they... oh. Okay, maybe I'm gonna stop playing this so I can focus. Okay. Draws in microphone close. My question to you guys is it incest if it's with your cousin? I can't keep a straight face, it's a joke. I'm not gonna answer that question, because that's a bad question, not a good one. And I'm actually thinking about ending the stream here, because I'm tired, and I don't want to put like 4 hours worth of video on my channel, because that's not gonna help me. But thank you guys for watching and keep me company, because this would have been much more boring, if I hadn't had you two watching me. So, yeah. See you around.